I worked, owned and managed the Roadhouse for 18 years, from 1998 until 2015. When the Roadhouse originally opened, 1992 or 93, it was a project of John McBeath and a blues venue, and the musical remit was nothing but rhythm and blues, so he had to broaden his horizons, which he did by inviting the Fall to come and play, and that led to many indie bands starting to come, as that was the time that Oasis were just about taking off, and it was a good time to have an indie club. I think on the whole, lady licensees are not that unusual. In fact, they're quite commonplace. So people generally accepted that I was in charge, and I always felt and acted as the landlady of the Roadhouse. I was always there with the coffee on when the bands arrived in the afternoon to sound check. And the whole reason I think that I ended up choosing this career path was because I really give a shit about people having a good time. It's really important to me. Fundamentally, it was the alcohol sales that kept us going. And when people drink too much alcohol, which we heartily encourage them to do, sensibly, of course, then some people don't handle it that well. So I think in many ways, being a woman in those incidences when you were trying to talk a large, drunk, aggressive man down, it worked for me every time. We also had several ladies that were security, several ladies that were in the sound booth, and largely female bar staff too. So the girls were on top. So my first item is a plunger, because as anyone who's managed a nightclub, particularly a basement nightclub, then they will know that learning to unblock toilets as swiftly and as undramatically as possible is a very necessary skill. My next item are 3 t-shirts, none of which I can fit into anymore. This first one is the staff uniform that we had printed at the very beginning of our time at the club. It was the only uniform that we had because uniforms are a really bad idea. So during the time that we were all wearing these t-shirts, most of the staff at that time were members of Elbow, and drunkenly one night Pete Turner promised me that he would wear his staff t-shirt if they ever got to play on Top of the Pops, which they did, and he did. They had these made to coincide with the launch of their first EP, and I guess it's the first in a very long line of merch t-shirts that they've sold over the years. And finally, this last t-shirt I had made in response to a very successful club night, an electronic music student club night called Sex with Robots. So it tickled me to use their font and colours, but change the last word. Unfortunately now, it does not make that much sense if I wear it anywhere else, because it insinuates I want to have sex with my own business. Final item. This is I think the professional term must be clicker. You always have to know how many bodies you have in your premises at all times. The Roadhouse have been struggling financially for a couple of years. There was a smorgasbord of other venues opening, which is fantastic because the city has enough talent to support that. And of course, when new venues do open, most bands and most customers, audience goers, want to go to a new venue because it's a different space, it's a different ceiling, it's a different bar, it's a new exciting experience. And gig goers had been frequenting the Roadhouse for over 20 years at this point. So I definitely felt that it was time for a change, and because I'd spent 5 years in the restaurant world and had learnt it and started to love it as much as nightclub world, that seemed like a great idea.